So welcome to another show of Coast to Coast Outdoors. It's been a long time, so right now we'll let him introduce himself and tell us about himself and what he does and stuff. So I thought he was a pretty interesting guest, so we'll go from there. What's your name?
My name is Ulrich, but everybody knows me as Rich. So because the UL in front of Ulrich is very difficult and approaching very bad, and so everybody knows me as Rich. And I'm from the OLZ California Corporation, and I'm normally located in Germany, and now I'm here to build the company and introducing our German stuff here. What we're producing is towing hitches, wheels, bad look wheels, double steering, stabilizer kits, and so on, and a lot of interesting parts for Jeep.
I met him through Max over at Moab Off-Road, and he had a pretty interesting story about what happened. So currently we're driving in a, what is it, 2015?
Yeah, that's a brand new Jeep Wrangler JK. It's a 4-door, it's a Rubicon, and the interesting thing is it's a European 2.8 liter diesel, so it's not available in the US. That's the interesting thing here. Maybe you listen to the engine sound, you hear it. It's a diesel.
So currently driving in one of its only kind, 2015 JK diesel, out here in the U.S. These are made in the U.S., but shipped over to Germany and the European, and they have those available there. And he makes parts for them, and currently what he's doing is making parts for wheels. He went out to Moab, Utah to go test out his Jeep, but he had some conflicting stuff that happened getting the vehicle here, so he couldn't do it. He met Max through an event, and they started talking, and somehow or another they both have two red identical Jeeps. So it kind of worked out. So Max loaned him his Jeep, but now we're driving in Ulrich's Jeep.
Yeah.
And tell us about your experience at Moab. Was this your first time at Moab?
No, so it's 3 or 4 times I was in Moab before, but it's my first Easter Jeep Safari, and for this is the 50th annual Jeep Safari, and for that we bring our own Jeep here, so that's the story. But the EPA has locked the Jeep, and so I'm traveling from Baltimore, where the Jeep is locked, to my family here, and so I was here, and as you said, I tell the story to Max, and he loaned me his Jeep. And Moab is pretty interesting for that, to introduce new parts, because on the 50th annual, every manufacturer, every customer, everybody is here, and so we want to introduce our brand new wheel for the US market and for the European market. So that's our own speed-up wheel, and that's the thing we do in Moab. And the trip with the car from Max is a 3.8 liter gas one. It's an 08 model. It's so nearly the same car as this one, and we fit the new wheels on it. And we drive down to Moab, 1,500 miles, and it's a pretty long distance. And I see a lot of the US countries, and then we reach Moab, and Moab is always sunny. We have a great time there, and the people are very friendly, and it was a really great experience there.
Okay. So what trails did you go to when you were out in Moab? I mean, where did you go? What did you do your first day? And things like that.
So we traveled overnight. We leave Louisville here at, it was 8:30 in the morning, and we drive 25 hours together, me with my buddy. And we reached Moab on Saturday morning at I think it was 9 a.m. And so we have breakfast at Denny's, and we have no sleep. It was a long thing, and so we join in our hotel and take a shower, and then we're looking around. So that's our first Easter Jeep Safari, and so the first thing we have to do is to check all the grids and which is open and how everything is working on the Easter Jeep Safari. So we have never done it before, and so I went to the desk for the Red Rock four-wheelers and tell them the story, and they show me everything what is to do, and we make a plan, and we join in the 7-mile rim, and we make the appointments for that, and so we meet a couple of our friends. They have shops here, and we have business contacts here, and so we go early afternoon to bed and sleep well, and the first one day later on Sunday we do our first trips together with Eric from Action Camper. He's located in California, and so we do things like Cliffhanger, and one day later we do Hell's Revenge, I think, and and show them what the cars can, and one day later we meet the guys from AEV. So we had an exclusivity dealer for AEV in Europe, and we was invited to his tour, and the whole day we was around and to check out the Crane Creek Trail. It's a pretty great thing. It's very, very nice there. And yes, so that's the thing I've driven. Yeah.
So you drove all around Utah and saw a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
How was the experience being 50 years of them doing Easter Jeep Safari? How was that experience? What I mean,
I can't describe this. It's so for a European guy like me, it's every corner is a Jeep meeting. So much Jeeps there and so much friendly people. That's an experience you can't describe it. You must be in there and live in and see it and feel it. So you can't describe. I'm sorry. So that's the whole area is so beautiful, and the landscape, the Red Rock Mountains and everything. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Every Jeeper has to do this for one time in their life. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So describe what it is in Germany. How is it in Germany? I mean, is there a lot of Jeeps out there? Is it the culture the same, or are we talking about a different culture in Germany or the European countries? Is it all the same like it is here, where it's a tight-knit community and a lot of Jeeps out there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So that's a huge community in Europe, especially in Germany. So we do not have so many cars. So that's the thing. So we talked about it. So in the US, they're producing 1,500 Jeeps in 1 month, and so that's the same one. 1,500 is the maximum we have in 1 year. So that's a great thing, and so we have a lot of internet platforms like Jeep forums, Jeep meetings, and so there's everything organized by itself. And that's a huge community there, and everybody lives this thing. So a Jeep, especially the Wrangler or the JK, you like it or you don't like it. So that's you can't compare this thing with another car. That's great.
Were you always into Jeeps or no?
Oh, yes, yes and no. So I started with a Jeep. So my dream was to have a four-wheeler. And I was a young boy, and I passing a street without watching left or right, and a big CJ7, an old one, a 79 model, comes from the side and brakes very hard, and I looked around and I looked into the face of the Jeep, and I see the huge New York bumper was it, and the big eyes, and I know this is the Jeep I want to have. That's a huge car, and so I did my education as a car mechanic, as Volkswagen, and I haven't enough money to buy the dream Jeep, and after that time I goes to Microsoft and worked for Microsoft, and then I have enough money for Jeep, and I start driving competitions in Jeep. I think it's 12 years ago, and then I meet my boss and my buddy and my partner right now. He owns the biggest Jeep parts shop like Max from Old Off-Road, and I always buy my parts there, and we talked around, and so there's something happened with his IT system, and I fixed them, and he asked me and said, okay, so when you need a job, so come to me. And yes, some months later, so I asked him, so hey, I need a job. What's up? And he said, okay, yeah, come to me, and that's great. And yeah, now I worked there for I think it's 8 or 9 years ago, and yeah, we grow up together, and now we have nine employees and so.
Nice.
Yeah. And,
so what did you?
Always working on that, on the cars and fix cars and modify and drive racings, and so I get a special experience on Jeep and fixing and driving and whatever.
So I'm kind of interested in what you did at Microsoft. That's kind of interesting. There's not a lot of people that go from Microsoft to the off-road industry. I mean,
so,
what did you do?
Oh, it's a long time ago. So I told you my education is car mechanics. Is a long time ago, but it's not at this time. So it was not a view in my future to do always oil changes and tire changes and everything. And I looked around, and my hobby at this time was to work around with PCs, computers, networks, and so on. And so I stopped working as a car mechanics and send a resume to an IT company, and they give me the chance to improve my knowledge and everything, and they give me the chance to make my education for different things on Microsoft. So it's called Microsoft Certified Systems Administrator and Database Administrator and all this stuff. And I do a lot of these. I pass a lot of tests and so, and go to the Microsoft forums. So my target was to be an MVP and most valued people, as I call it. And one of my old buddies has a own company and told me, hey, Microsoft is looking for some freelancers. They help to fixing cases with the SharePoint server, and was a huge thing. It's 2007. It was a huge thing. And they didn't find enough people who can work on a SharePoint server. And this was one of my favorites. And I said, okay, yes, why not? And he hired me, and so this was the entrance to Microsoft to working there as a freelancer. And they came up to me and said, hey, why not come to us? And so I stopped working as freelancer and working at Microsoft. And do a lot of money, but this kind of work is not really easy. So it's not everything was like shines gold is gold. So it's not so easy. And yeah, that was the reason why Patrick told me, so if you need a job, so come to me. Yes. Yeah. And then it is. So I came from my education as a car mechanics to an education in different IT things. And it was a good thing, because at this time, so I managed the whole IT thing in our company. Like, we have our own Exchange server, our own databases, firewalls, and everything. And I manage all this. And for a small company who grows up, it's very important to have a good IT basic system. So, and when you do not have any experience or knowledge in this thing, so you spend a lot of monies for external companies who do that.
Yeah.
That's a
big expense.
That's very good for Patrick, for my boss, on this time, and for me too. So I get a lot of money, and he save a lot of money, right?
Yeah. That's good.
And that's my story, from mechanic to Microsoft to
where you're at now.
Sales people to whatever.
Yeah. So you also mentioned you were doing some racing. What kind of racing did you do? I mean,
no, how I can describe it. So it's nothing where you can compare it here. So we call them trail or trophy. So the first thing is trail is you have to pass difficult terrain, and there's 2 stones with ball on it, and when you hit the stump and the ball falls down, so you get a fence points or so on. And when you pass it in a time frame, so as faster as better, without any errors and issues, it's okay. So that's one thing. That's called trail. And the other thing is what I do is drive trophy. Trophies is hard terrain, so they have different terrain. So it's easy or it's hard. It's normally a round course. So with a hard terrain, it's very muddy or passing woods and everything, and heavy climbings on hills and so on. And so the mostly rounds you have or special tests. So for winching, maybe the Americans are kidding around and call this thing as a winch race. So for that we have a lot of modified winches, like maybe the one, the 8274. So we have one engine on the hood and
a secondary.
And we have a secondary, and we changed the gear ratio and everything.
It's like a giggly pin or something.
Yeah. Giggly pin is one of the most known ones. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the thing we use. So MB cars as an Italian stuff. It's a pretty cool winch, and that's great. That's our competitions.
Oh, okay. What kind of terrain are we talking about? Are we talking about like big rock sections? Are we talking about pea gravel? Are we talking about just grass and just mud puddles?
Everything. So we have everything. So deep muddy. So when it's raining, so you have small rocks, you have big rocks. You pass this different kinds of forests. So you have not enough space for a big car. You have to find the best way on this. You have to climb higher rock hills and so on, and so that's around cars of that.
Oh, okay.
So with different things on it.
With different things.
Yeah.
All right. What kind of gas mileage are you getting in this?
I'm sorry.
What kind of gas mileage are you getting in the diesel?
Oh, the mileage. So it things with a full tank is 350.
350
miles. Yes.
Oh, okay. So that's not too bad.
So from the distance, on Sunday, on Monday morning, I picked up the car in Baltimore at the Haber and drive down straight to Louisville. It's exactly 600 miles, and I have one fuel stop. So I start with a full fuel tank, stopped in the middle, refueling, and came here with a little bit in the tank.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
So what upgrades have you done, or what have you done to the vehicle? This vehicle?
The important thing is so we have another power software on the engine. So normally we have 200 horsepower with 450 newton meter of torque, and we did a OCT tuning. That's a special thing. It's developed in Austria and in Switzerland. It's very known in Europe. It's available for a lot of cars, so like Volkswagen, Audi, and all the other things. They have a special software, and we tune it up to 226 horsepower with 500 newton meter of torque. That's the first thing we did. The second one is our partner. That's a big garage, is mostly known in Germany. Pauli is it? He made a special software for the transmission shifting. So normally you have a problem with the diesel engine. It's only special for the diesel. So when you're driving and the maximum of torque is available at 3,000 rotations per minute, and the engine is always rotate more and more up to 4,500, but nothing happens.
There's no shifting.
Yeah, it's no shifting, and you're always waiting, shift, and he changed the software, and the shifting points is set it so that you have always the maximum of torque available on the engine. So that's the third big thing.
So you lowered the shift points from like 4,000 or whatever it was.
Yeah, we down to 3,200 or so.
Oh, okay.
So that's the best thing. You have always the maximum on speed on torture. And the next thing is we put in a paddle box for the response of the electronic gas pedal. So that's one thing, and so all the other upgrades is normally things. So we have a 4.5-inch AEV suspension kit. We have a AEV tubeless front bumper in the front. We have an AEV bumper in the rear with an AEV tire carrier. We have a Vaughn Xeon 10 winch. We have skid plates on the front. The important thing is our beadlock wheels on it, the Bawarrion beadlock wheels with the matching colors of the beadlock rings. The Bawarrion towing hitch is installed. to the suspension system, we had the Bawarrion double steering stabilizer kit and our Bawarrion Omega shakers for the front bumper. So that's the thing we have at this moment done. Some interior things.
The Bawarrion,
yeah,
right?
Bawarrion, yeah.
Bawarrion company makes the hitch, the wheels,
the towing hitch, yes,
the towing hitch,
double steering stabilizer kit.
So dual stabilizers, and then what? Did you guys make your own skid plates or no?
Not at this time, but we're working on it because for the gas models, everything is available, but not for the diesel ones. And there is no company who makes good skid plates for the diesel. So now we will work together with some guys from Denver, from TNT Customs, to figure out what we can do with a special skid plate for the diesel. But the other things we have in our product portfolio is the wheel spaces from Bawarrion in 25 and 30 millimeters. We have a special developed pedestrian protection cover for the AEV bumpers, the tubeless and the premium one.
And what is the pedestrian covers? That's something only for European models.
Yes,
that is required, or?
Oh yes. So it's a difference between US and Europe. So in Europe, especially in Germany and Belgium and so on, you have different laws. So it's not allowed to change the bumper from the original one into another steel one or whatever. So you have to need it or to make it TÜV approved. So you have to go to a vehicle inspection department and they have to check the car and make an entrance in your papers and your paperwork, right? And so what you have to do, especially in Germany, is to have a pedestrian protection that you can use the bumper street legal. So we developed our cover for the AEV bumpers. So, and with this cover, so we can drive the AEV bumpers street legal in Germany or in Europe. So I think the guys in France need it, in Belgium, Holland or so on, the Netherlands. So they need all this pedestrian cover to use this bumper street legally. And when I found that the Canadian ones have the same issues, so they cannot change the bumper, so they have the same laws or so. But I'm not sure, so I have to figure them out if this is so.
Oh, okay. So what does a pedestrian cover do? I mean, is that just? I mean, does it do what it like?
Yeah, protect pedestrian. So that's a funny thing. No, it's a cover. You clip it on the front, and with this one, so the damage on a pedestrian when you hit it with, I think it's 30 miles an hour. So it's not so heavy as when you hit a pedestrian without the cover. So it's for protection and you not break the bones or whatever. So nobody understands this kind of laws. So if I hit a pedestrian with a steel front bumper with or without the cover, it makes not a difference. So I think it's not funny when you hit them.
Yeah.
But you need it to drive street legal, to have your car insurance or whatever.
So it's something that's required just for European vehicles, and
we need all the TÜV certifications for another suspension system, for headlights or whatever. So you need, for everything you change on the car, you need to have a TÜV document for that. So as exclusivity dealer for AEV, so we make the TÜV documents and the approvals for the whole AEV series, all the suspension systems and so on. And the same we do with our hitch. So you remember, so there's a small hitch available from Mopa or from Rugged Ridge. It's only small steel plates.
Yeah. And
they allow a towing capacity. It means 3,200 lips. I mean, it's 1.6 tons or so. And we made one TÜV proved. A little bit different one is a heavy duty one, and we have a TÜV document and a certification for 7,200 lips of towing capacity. It's 3.5 tons, and it's street legal in Europe.
Okay.
And it's a little bit deeper as the US ones, so you can use it as a protection for your exhaust system and for your rear bumper. And yeah, that's a different thinking on these things, because so the mostly customers are worried about the deep of the towing hitch. So because they say when they're driving off-road, so it hits always the ground, that it's not good for driving off-road. But in Moab and the Easter Jeep Safari, so we tested it, and we see that's much better to drive with this kind of towing hitch. So it's deeper and it's heavy duty, and it protects our exhaust system very good, and it protects our bumpers. So, and the investment in the rear bumper, I think the AEV one is $1,000. And
they're
it's
like
not
1,500
or 1,500 or something, yeah. And the towing hitch protected really good. And you here in the US, you have I think it's a towing hitch skid plate or what. You can stick it on, or with some rollers on it and everything. And that's a pretty cool thing. So it makes sense to have one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's nice. So I think I don't got nothing else unless we want to talk about something else. But you know, it's nice talking to you about all that stuff. You know, nice talking about Bawarrion and your experience at Easter Jeep Safari, and also over at your racing and some of your background and stuff. So, where can people find you? I mean, what is there a website people can find
yes.
you? Or
so everything is unworking right now. So it's you can find us on Bawarrion.com. That's our website.
And that's spelled Bawarrion.
Yeah, that's right. And so at this moment, so we're working on our dealer network here in the US, and our target is to get one dealer on each state. For Kentucky, you can ask Max from our Off-Road. He's our dealer there. And you can find the dealer map on our website, or you give me a call, the number is listed, or you find me on Facebook, you look at Bawarrion and you will find it. And otherwise you can send me an email. All the contact data is located on our websites or our dealers, right?
Social media? Are you guys on
Facebook?
Facebook,
yeah.
Twitter? Are you on Twitter?
Twitter not, but
not so
on
much
Instagram.
On Instagram?
Yeah.
All right, so people can find you. What is the Instagram?
It's ORZ, it's the company _ Munich. So you find us, it's very easy. And on Facebook, look for Bawarrion, and you will find it under Bawarrion under this tag.
All right.
Or Google or whatever. Yeah, everything.
So what I'll do is I'll post everything. So if you're listening on iTunes, you just hit the cover and you'll get all the links and stuff, just like usual and stuff. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll probably get some shaky video because we had one of our cameras go out, or one of my cameras went out, so now we're doing a different GoPro and stuff. So, but that's a story for another day. So it's a pleasure talking to you. I know we talked about doing this a couple weeks ago, but things just didn't line up. But we're doing this now, so that's good. So let us know maybe later on in the year. Or what events are you doing this year?
Oh, a lot, I think. The next one is together with Max. We exhibit at the Off-Road Expo here in Louisville from June 5 to 7. And then the next week I'm located in California. We'll visit some dealers like TNT Customs, Action Camper, Evolution Off-Road, and so on. And so I'm traveling around there, and so you can meet me. So give me a message on Facebook or so, and it's a great pleasure for me to meet you guys, to talk with you.
So if you guys get a chance to look at this Jeep, it is really nice. The thing that makes it the most unique is the diesel engine, and just listen. I mean,
and the red color.
Well, yeah, the red color really stands out with the wheels and stuff, with the beadlock rim and stuff. So that's really nice and stuff. But yeah, like always, you'll always have everything. Just hit the cover on the iTunes page, and you'll get all the stuff as far as links to Bawarrion, and then also to Coast to Coast. You'll get all this stuff. We're changing our website and stuff like that, so that's kind of a logistical thing that we're working on. we're also doing some reorganization stuff. So I know it's been a while, but hopefully this makes up for it. We'll try and get some more stuff out. I think I got another interview lined up, so I will talk to you guys later.